Some time ago I made a video called Why MLP G5 doesn't work. I made several different points why G5 is so disappointing, including terrible world building and way too much unnecessary fan pandering. But after watching chapter 4 of Make Your Mark, I must admit, I liked it way better than everything we received previously, excluding the movie of course. The movie was really good the more I thought about it. Now after watching chapter 4, it seems like Hasbro actually took some notes. Actually listened to what people were saying about previous chapters, and the studios working on Make Your Mark, which are E1 and Atomic cartoons as I found out, actually put more effort into this chapter. Honestly, I was not hopeful for this generation. However, chapter 4 kinda resurrected my hope. At the very least it showed that Make Your Mark can actually be good and it was not a stillborn product. Chapter 4 is not perfect by any means, obviously. There are still things worthy of criticism. Fan pandering never went anywhere. We don't see Twilight sparkle again, but we see young Celeste and Luna. My theories about Opaline being Flory Hard, Landfall Anakin Skywalker were shattered into little pieces, because apparently Opaline is just as old as Celeste and Luna, which means that she's been around for thousands of years. Chapter 4 rewrites the canon of G4 as well, implying that Celeste and Luna were not the only Alicorn princesses. Opaline was there as well. I would honestly much prefer Opaline to be an evil corrupted Flory Heart, or some other apprentice of Twilight's who went evil. I remember that not many people were pleased by Flory Heart's appearance in Friendship is Magic. Flory Heart being an Alicorn means that Alicorn status doesn't have to be earned anymore, which implies that there might be more Alicorns after Friendship is Magic ended. I am still certain that the loose connection to G4, which is honestly becoming less and less loose, is here to keep fans around. Kids don't care, let's be honest. It's fans who make up online discussions and create a feeling of hype and anticipation around the show. Not sure Hasbro is willing to let this valuable asset go. Not yet at least. Now to be completely fair, G5 does not abuse the previous generation too much, and Make Your Mark is still a self-sufficient series. I mean, how could it be otherwise? It was created for a new generation of kids who probably never saw Friendship is Magic, or Equestria Girls, or anything G4 related at all. I do not change my mind though. I think G5 should have been something entirely original without the G4 connection. It's just unnecessary convoluted and overarching plot of Make Your Mark, and made some people's expectations way too high. Now about the series. Opaline apparently lives very close to the Maritime Bay, because Misty is able to go from Opaline's castle to the Maritime Bay and then back again on almost daily basis. Unless she spends hours every day on the road, which I don't really believe. By the way, it seems like ponies do not have cars. How they survive without constant traffic and air pollution is completely beyond me. So, Sunny and the others never saw Poline's castle before the final episode, and never knew there was a huge ass tower just a couple of miles beyond their home. Do ponies even know that there is anything outside Maritime Bay, Bridalwood and Zephyr Heights? Or they just move strictly between these three locations? After chapter 4 was released, I received comments saying that the world building was actually fixed in the show. But I really have to disagree with that. World building is still as plastic as it can be. Our main characters literally have a big flying machine, but as I said previously, they never saw Poline's castle before. And according to the final episode, the castle is not even guarded by anyone, and anyone can enter it with no problems whatsoever. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on world building. After all, we haven't seen even 20 episodes yet. We should probably wait for more episodes before judging prematurely. What G5 needs right now is for the main characters to leave Maritime Bay and to go exploring Equestria. Equestria is such a huge and diverse place, there is actually no need to restrain themselves. Also, we'll probably see more dragons in the following chapters, judging by the end of chapter 4. I really doubt Spike will return as an active character, and I really wouldn't want that turn, to be honest. Chapter 4 is actually addressed my problem with Queen Opaline. In Chapter 2 she was just staying in her castle without even doing anything, just sending Misty to kidnap Sparky over and over again despite Misty's failures, and spying on Sunny and her friends. In this chapter, however, Opaline finally takes some proactive action and leaves her castle to find a special magical artifact that can drain dragons' magic. Why didn't she find it earlier? Well, I think that's a good question. Too bad we didn't actually see Opaline retrieving the artifact. It all happens behind the scenes while Misty and the others are having a ball. But it's not that important. Misty finally got her cutie mark, and I feel like it was a little too soon. But she's got a pretty interesting and well written character arc, and she is overall the best new character in Make Her Mark. But it's not like there are too many new characters though. Onyx is my favorite background pony. I think she's quite underrated. I like the fact that Misty hesitates until the very end, how she doesn't know what to do. Opaline treated her poorly obviously, but Opaline also raised Misty, and for a long time Misty didn't know anyone else. She simply didn't know any better and always blindly followed her mother figure, who Opaline was undoubtedly. Until of course she met Main 5, Sunny and the others. I didn't see major spoilers before watching, so I expected Misty to fully join Main 5 at the end of the chapter. But she manages to fool Opaline, so Opaline still thinks that Misty is loyal to her. Misty now is gonna work as an inside pony and tell Sunny and the others of Opaline's each move. Can't wait till Opaline figures the deceive out, that is gonna happen eventually. But until then Opaline is gonna be cooking her evil plan. I really hope she doesn't bring Spike back though, because who knows what's gonna happen. I think the battle between Opaline and Sunny was kinda premature, but to be fair they both are not in their prime yet. Opaline hardly has any powerful magic and Sunny still doesn't fully understand how to be an alicorn. In contrast to Twilight Sparkle, but Twilight had an alicorn mentor, plus she was a unicorn and studied magic her entire life. While Sunny spent most of her life in a world devoid of any magic, and she never met any unicorns before Izzy. The issue with Sunny is that she doesn't really feel like the main protagonist, the same way as Twilight Sparkle. Friendship is Magic dedicated enough time to all main 6 characters, pretty much equally, but it still felt like Twilight's story from the beginning till the end. Friendship is Magic was a coming of age story in a way, especially the first 3 seasons. Sunny doesn't get as much character development. I even feel like she lacks screen time, who actually feels like the main character is Pip Petals. Funny enough, she was the most generic and the least developed character in the movie, but she really shone after the movie. AJ Bridle is a freaking fantastic voice actress and a terrific singer, with such a wonderful voice and a great vocal range. Speaking of music, it is great. My favorite songs from Chapter 4 are definitely Show Me Your Pony Moves and Hooves Together, even though the first one literally sounds like all the pop songs from the last decade thrown into the grinder. I am personally not really a fan of mainstream music, but with MLP characters everything always works. I still think that MLP is better off in 2D, but the animation in Chapter 4 got significantly better than in the previous chapters. It is not a movie level of quality, that's out of question, but I didn't feel like I was watching rubber toys talking to each other. Characters are way more lively, colors are more vibrant, and overall animation is more diverse in facial expressions and movements. That's an obvious improvement compared to what we had before. Bridal Woodstock special was very simple, but it also left a very positive impression. The writers apparently brought characters from the first generation. One of the new characters is named Ruby Jubilee, which means 40th anniversary. And the MLP franchise turns 40 this year, so it was a really nice touch and nod to an older generation. You know, Sparky remains my least favorite character. Again, I don't quite understand what's his purpose in the show. He is probably a character for little kids, just like the Cutie Mark Crusaders and Friendship is Magic, because the main characters are old enough and not even teenagers. In chapter 4, Sparky was rather tolerable, because he didn't even have much screen time. Plus most of the worst moments with him are in Tell Your Tale. The writers of Make Your Mark keep themselves at bay. I guess MLP has certain standards, but Tell Your Tale writers can go as nuts as they want, and we see the difference. Overall, chapter 4 was surprisingly better than I expected. Perhaps I was too soon with my doom and gloom predictions. We should actually give G5 a chance. Maybe it won't disappoint after all. What Make Your Mark needs now is a good plan, a certain direction, and of course good writing and character development. I'm actually looking forward to watching the next chapter already, which will probably be released in September, so the wait is not gonna be half a year this time, luckily. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support me as a creator, you can check out my Patreon page. Thanks for your time and see you again on this channel.